Are indie authors finally breaking into new global markets through Amazon KDP? Why are major review services changing how they verify book reviews? And what does Amazon's newest ad update mean for authors with just one title? Plus, we'll talk about a billion-dollar AI copyright settlement shaking up the industry, major acquisition that just collapsed, and how one print-on-demand company is raising the bar for quality in indie publishing. All that and more in the self-publishing news for October the 7th of 2025. All right, before we dive into this week's news, I've got something special to share. My Kickstarter campaign, The Final 3, Your Publishing Playbook Rewritten, marks the grand finale of my 12-book Self-Publishing with Dale series. These are brand new second editions of the keywords for books, reviews for books, and marketing and promotion for authors, all redesigned, expanded, and available for the first time in deluxe hardcover format. We launched on September 30th and hit our funding goal in just 54 minutes. The campaign is now sitting at about 291% funded and was even named a Kickstarter project we love. We already unlocked the orange ribbon bookmarks, and our next stretch goal at $17,000 unlocks the Support Indie Authors enamel pin, free for all physical backers once we reach it. There's only one-on-one coaching spot left and 13 group coaching spots still open. I haven't offered coaching in over 2 years, and this will be the very last time, so don't miss your chance. Visit dalelinks.com/Kickstarter. All right, let's go ahead and jump right on into things here. Shout out to a good friend of mine, MK Williams, for pointing this one out, fellow YouTuber and indie author. She spotted this update in her recent email newsletter. According to a post on the KDP Forum dated September 25th, 2025, Amazon has expanded print book distribution to 2 new marketplaces for Ireland and Belgium. Now, authors who hold worldwide or EU and UK distribution rights can now make their paperback and hardcover titles available in both marketplaces. Now, if those rights are already selected, your print titles will automatically appear on the new platforms. For anyone who hasn't yet updated their territories, you can go into your bookshelf, select Edit Rights and Pricing, and republish your book after choosing the new territories. Now, royalties will display per marketplace, and authors can adjust list prices anytime directly from their bookshelf. It's important to note that this expansion only covers print books, not ebooks. Wish it was so. Now, I think this is great news, though, anyways. Anytime we can get our books into new regions is a good day, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of visibility and sales opportunities move out of this move. All right, moving a little further forward. All right, big shout out our friend over at Book Bounty, Kevin. Kevin, thank you so much. Shared some big updates this month, and it all ties back to recent changes coming from Amazon. For those unfamiliar, Book Bounty is a platform for authors who need more reviews. Now, according to their October 2025 news and updates post, Amazon has made it harder for services to track reviews. Direct review links now require users to be logged in, and visiting too many can temporarily block access to reviews altogether. Now, because of these restrictions, Book Bounty had to delay some new features while adapting their process. They've now begun rolling out a new confirmation system that simplifies things for users. Instead of manually pasting review links, authors can forward Amazon's confirmation email directly to Book Bounty for secure automatic verification. Now, Kevin also reminded users that Amazon's AI is getting better at spotting repetitive or unnatural reviews, so it's best to keep your feedback honest, as you always should, thoughtful, and personal. Book Bounty continues to encourage professionalism and community support among authors. It's great to see, so refreshing. Now, Book Bounty is a pretty sweet website for indie authors, if you didn't know, who need reviews but don't yet have the audience or reach. Check them out through my affiliate link at dalelinks.com/bookbounty. Going a little further forward, Amazon Advertising's got some news, so here's straight from my own Amazon dashboard. All right, you're getting some breaking news here. A new notification popped up this week announcing that sponsored brands are now available to all authors, even those with just one book. Now, until now, this ad type was reserved for authors with at least 3 publications or more. So this change opens the door for newer authors or anyone with a smaller catalog who still has the budget and strategy to make an impact. Now, for those unfamiliar, sponsored brand ads used to let you feature multiple books. Now, it's 1 or more, your author name, and even custom headlines across Amazon search results. It's a great way to build brand visibility, reach new readers, and drive more traffic to your catalog. This update means even debut authors can start branding themselves and competing in ad placements that were once limited to bigger catalogs. Moving a little further forward here, Draft Digital just announced a small but important change to their payment system. Starting November 1st of 2025, they will begin enforcing minimum payment thresholds for payout methods that previously had none. Here's the new breakdown. It is $10 minimum for direct deposit in the US, PayPal in the US, and PayPal International. $20 minimum for direct deposit international and Payoneer. $100 minimum for Check US and Check International. Now, according to Draft Digital, the move helps cut administrative costs, reduce transaction fees, and streamline their payment process. If your balance does not hit the threshold, it will simply just roll over until it does. Now, I'm a huge fan of Draft Digital. I have talked before about how they are a great alternative or companion for KDP authors, especially now that KDP Select ebooks can distribute to libraries through D2D. This new change is pretty reasonable and aligns with what most platforms already do. I have to give it up to Draft Digital because there's a lot of times, a lot of people don't realize this. I had a good chat with the CEO, Chris Austin, about some of the processes that are behind the scenes with Draft Digital. And they eat a lot of costs. They eat the costs on the ISBN. They eat the costs in distributing paperback books. Like, there's a lot of stuff. So to see that they have said, okay, we're eating too many costs, can we just like move these thresholds up? I think it's probably more than reasonable. Not probably, it is more than reasonable. Let's go ahead and move a little further forward. It wasn't long ago that I reported on ReaderLink's plan to acquire Baker & Taylor, but the deal is now officially off. For anyone unfamiliar, Baker & Taylor is one of the largest library and educational book wholesalers in the United States, supplying books and media to libraries, schools, and retailers for decades. Now, according to Publishers Weekly, both companies released a joint statement saying they've mutually agreed to walk away from the acquisition. ReaderLink had planned to take on most of Baker & Taylor's assets and staff, but not its financial obligations, which raised plenty of red flags. Now, many publishers worried about outstanding debts and whether they'd ever see full payment. The deal was expected to close on September 26, but after due diligence, both sides pulled the plug. Now, for now, ReaderLink and Baker & Taylor will keep operating separately. Honestly, this one never felt solid. I even said so when I reported this, I think it was probably a few weeks ago. Between Baker & Taylor's financial baggage and the industry's concern, it seemed like a long shot from the start. Now, the big question now is how Baker & Taylor plans to stabilize while still allegedly owing significant sums to publishers. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem, especially if they want to try selling their company like they just did. Now, moving further forward, writer beware. We've covered this ongoing case a few times now, but there's finally some movement worth noting. Now, the massive action lawsuit against Anthropic, the AI company behind the Claude models, has reached a preliminary settlement valued at $1.5 billion. Now, as Victoria Strauss over at Writer Beware explained, the case centers on Anthropic's use of pirated books from sites like Library Genesis and Pirate Library Mirror to train its AI system. Now, the court ruled that while scanning purchased books for AI training may qualify as fair use if you've purchased the copies, downloading pirated copies does not. That's where the settlement comes in. The class covers authors and publishers who hold registered copyrights on works Anthropic allegedly downloaded from those sites before August 10th of 2022. Payments are expected to average, ready for this, $3,000 per each eligible work. Now, though the actual process will take some time here. Now, authors can now check if their books were included by visiting the Anthropic Works list lookup at secure.anthropiccopyrightsettlement.com/lookup. The Authors Guild is also stepping in to help out just a little bit so you kind of understand what's going on. They're hosting a free webinar on Thursday, October 16th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time to walk authors through their rights and how to prepare claim forms. If you think your book might have been affected, it's worth checking the lookup tool and tuning into that webinar. This case has set an important precedent for how AI companies handle copyrighted material moving forward. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you take a moment and go on over to the Anthropic Works list lookup, look up your ISBN or your ASIN, search by title, search by author, or even publisher. Definitely worth your time. Thankfully, I did not find any works of mine on there. All right, moving a little further forward, Bookvault is just rolled out a big quality upgrade for indie authors. For anyone unfamiliar, Bookvault is a print-on-demand print-on-demand company based out of the UK and fulfillment platform known for its high-quality printing, flexibility, and direct sales integrations. They've been one of my favorite companies to work with, and I am featuring them in my upcoming 5-part video series where I'm comparing different companies and reviewing each one of them. Now, in their latest announcement, Bookvault revealed that US print partners now offer a premium 150 grams per square meter paper option. That's 150 GSM. This thicker, more durable stock delivers richer color and a noticeably more luxurious feel. It is an ideal choice for photo books, children's books, art prints, and premium or illustrated editions. Now, to put it in perspective, 150 GSM paper is roughly equivalent to 101 pound paper, giving your papers that high-end professional finish, of course. Now, when uploading or editing your title in the Bookvault dashboard, you can now select 150 GSM paper to instantly upgrade the quality of your book. Just make sure your artwork fits the new specs before uploading. Bookvault continues to raise the bar for print-on-demand publishing. For authors who care about presentation and reader experience, this is a simple way to make your book stand out. And if you want to give Bookvault a try, use the code BVDALE, as in Bookvault Dale, BVDALE, to waive the first 3 upload fees on your account. Now, big shout out to Luca, Alex, and Olivia at Bookvault. I'll see you guys at Author Nation this November. All right. Going a little further forward here, it's going to be a rapid news flash. It's time for that quick rapid fire update sharing other newsworthy events, interviews, and appearances happening across the indie author world. Well, very first up, I recently joined Thomas Umstad Jr. on the Novel Marketing Podcast to talk about Permafree books, the pros and cons, and how they can still help authors grow their audiences. It wasn't just an interview, it was a real conversation between 2 marketing nerds who love this industry. Now, you can catch the full episode on the Novel Marketing Podcast. Links, of course, are in the description for everything I've talked about. Next, longtime supporter and friend of the podcast, Devin Gambrell Clark, featured me in her All Call Indie Substack. Say that 10 times fast for Community Spotlight. We talked about how the Self-Publishing with Dale community came to life and how I'm pivoting into fiction, and Devin's building something special here, folks. And I highly recommend, if you go over check out this interview, it's a video interview, make sure you subscribe. Next up, speaking of interviews, fine folks over at Self-Publishing with Ally, I sat down with Marvin Way from AuthorScale.com for my final episode with the Alliance of Independent Authors podcast. We talked about using slideshow content to reach new readers on TikTok. Now, this was a very interesting talk. Like, I am the one that I'll try to hear everybody out, but the strategy that he shared in this was very insightful. Now, do I find myself that I'm going to go ahead and start doing this over on TikTok? No, because I'm kind of focused on YouTube, but I do recommend anybody that has been thinking about breaking ground on TikTok, go listen to this interview. It's very fascinating to hear this thing. And sure, he's kind of selling his services. That's what he's ultimately probably trying to do here. But in the same instance, he gives you all of the information you need to probably do it on your own. So big, huge thanks, by the way, as a side note, to Ally for letting me be part of the podcast family for Self-Publishing with Ally these past 2 years. It's been an honor. Be sure to subscribe to their show if you haven't already. Also coming up here, the fine folks over at Twin Flames Studios, good friends of mine, is hosting a free webinar titled Choosing the Right Publishing Pathway for Your Book on Project on October 14th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. The panel, led by Tina Dietz, will break down the pros and cons of traditional, hybrid, and self-publishing. It's packed with insights from Robin Colucci, Kim Ely, and Will Wolfsaw. Say that 10 times fast. And it's worth checking out. And finally, mark your calendar for October the 21st. I'll be joining Miblart's Book Marketing Strategies 2026 webinar with Alexa Bigwolf. I'll cover how to get more reviews on Amazon and other platforms, while Alexa will share sustainable long-term marketing strategies that keep you visible without burning you out. It's 2 hours of free. It's my favorite cost. Free for you to go ahead and check out. This is great author training. It's by the way, it says webinar, but it's gonna be on YouTube ultimately. I would recommend that you go ahead and get registered, especially if you want to see the replay, so that way they send a notification when it goes live, and they also let you know where to find the replay link. And before we do wrap up here, folks, I think just real quick, humor me, hear me out here. Reminder that my Kickstarter campaign, The Final 3 Year Publishing Playbook Rewritten, is still going strong at 291% funded. We've unlocked the orange ribbon bookmarks, and we're pushing for the next stretch goal at $17,000 to unlock the Support Indie Authors enamel pen. Only one-on-one coaching spot is left, and 13 group coaching spots remain, and this is the last time I'll ever offer coaching. Don't miss it. Visit dalelinks.com/Kickstarter. What'd you think about the featured news items today? Did I miss anything? If so, let me know in my Discord community at dalelinks.com/Discord. Till later, this has been Self-Publishing with Dale, and I'll see you next week. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. Special shout out to my channel members for both the podcast channel and the main channel. Without your support, some projects we do at Self-Publishing with Dale would be much harder to fund. If you want to contribute to the cause, visit dalelinks.com/memberships for details and get your on-screen shout out at the end of each broadcast. Till later, this has been Self-Publishing with Dale, and I'll see you soon.